cannot even tell you how many people have asked me to do this, because apparently this guy from the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial reminds a lot of people of this guy. So here you go.
I'm an expert witness. I'm saying as an expert witness.
Let's start with the easy question then.
That was pretty easy. Go ahead.
Doctor, you're going to have to just answer the questions.
Okay, sorry about that. Having trouble getting into this side.
You need to just answer the question.
Okay. I'm not sure why we're arguing psychiatry, because I'm telling you what it is.
Dr. Siegel, you just need to answer the question.
Okay.
Mr. Depp fell asleep with ice cream in his hand. That's not vomitous, right?
I was told it was vomitous.
Okay.
It does fit just a little too well, doesn't it?
Welcome back to the Unintentional Juror channel. I go by the name of Heinz, and thank you so much for tuning in. Today we are going back to the Atlanta, to the GA versus Leilani Simon trial, which just came to an end recently. She was found guilty on all 19 counts, and we're going to be going through that verdict as well as trial moments on this stream. So without further, as we are counting down to the stream starting, yes, I'm breaking the fourth wall. Yes, I am. But yeah, I cannot wait to start the stream and be with you all. Welcome back to this to the Unintentional Juror channel. If you're just tuning in for the first time, or if you're listening back on replay, do not forget to hit the like button as well as the subscribe button if you like what you're seeing so far. Leilani Simon, we were covering her on this channel up until day 7. Unfortunately, I had health problems that I had to deal with, and couldn't cover the whole trial. But she was found guilty by a unanimous jury. They are found her for all the counts that she was brought in. So without further, we're gonna go into each and every detail of that of what was reported on the day that she was found guilty, as well as the trial moments from when we were covering the trial moments that really lit up well, I found very interesting anyway. And also we are going to be discussing what next, and hopefully we are going to be discussing as well the sentencing that she's due. I think she's due for sentencing. I think it said next month or something like that. Regardless, we shall be here to cover it when that comes. So let's go on to the article here, which says that she was found guilty. Let's press play on this.
TOC, the news starts now with breaking news.
Thanks for watching the news at 3. I'm Tyler Mannion. That breaking news: Leilani Simon guilty on all 19 counts. The Chatham County mother now convicted of murdering her 20-month-old son Quentin in 2022.
And to be quite fair, it was quite obvious and it was coming, because if you watch the trial with us live, you will see that the evidence against her was very, very compelling. She had driven to the landfill that subsequently she had driven to the Azalea motorhomes where they would dispose of waste, etc. And she had dumped the child there, and from there the trash was taken to the landfill. That's what the trial was basically painting, and there's no way for her to escape that, because that trip was really random. The only because actually was really random, and on top of that, she had lied to people about taking that trip to the landfill. That she said that she had actually was visiting her friend Misty, and Misty to get oral gel. That was a false statement, proven false, because Misty had actually said no. She came to her place looking for gas, but she told her boyfriend at the time, I forgot his name. Damn it, I forgot his name. Damn it, no, I know his name. Damn it, I forgot his name. Daniel Youngkin. She had told Daniel Youngkin at the time that that she was going to the 204, which is where which was what they would say to each other when they were going to procure drugs, but that didn't turn out to be the case. Yeah.
Our Shay Schrader was inside the courtroom every single day of this trial for the last 2 weeks. She joins us now live outside the Chatham County Courthouse. Shay, what can you tell us?
Tyler, this verdict came down less than 30 minutes ago, and it looks like the prosecutors are actually walking out right now. We can see Tim Dean, who secured this conviction, leaving the courthouse right now. Leilani Simon found guilty on all 19 counts in that indictment. She has been found guilty on malice murder, 2 counts of felony murder, 1 count of concealing the death of another, and many other counts of making a false statement. And here is a look at the moment that Judge Stokes let the world know what Leilani Simon's fate was.
And to be quite fair, the judge was actually a very good judge all through the trial. She was quite energetic. There was not one dull moment in which we could sit down for too long without her telling us to get up and stretch. Those were the moments that I really enjoyed.
As to the verdict, it reads as follows. We, the jury, find as follows: malice murder. We find the defendant guilty. Count 2, felony murder. We find the defendant guilty. Count 3, felony murder. We find the defendant guilty. Count 4, concealing the death of another. We find the defendant guilty. Count 5, false report of a crime. We find the defendant guilty. Count 6, making a false statement. We find the defendant guilty.
The counts in that indictment were making a false statement counts. And again, Simon has been found guilty on all 19 counts in that indictment. And this afternoon, we actually are hearing from Billy Howell, the defendant Leilani Simon's mother, for the first time throughout the trial. She wasn't able to do an interview, but she did send a statement to WTOC that says, quote, "Our family is devastated and Quentin deserves justice. We want Quentin home so he can be laid to rest. I hate that I haven't been there for Leilani. We love her, but do not stand by any of this." Howell also expressing that she wants Quentin's remains so she is able to lay him to rest. Quentin's remains have been in the possession of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation ever since Simon was arrested a little over 2 years ago now. Now, as for the sentencing in the Simon case, that is going to come at a later date. As of right now, we do know again that she has been found guilty on all 19 counts of the indictment, and around 6 hours of deliberation by this jury that went through listening to 2 weeks of testimony. The prosecution calling almost 40 witnesses and presenting almost 100 pieces of evidence. Now, the defense never called any of their own witnesses to the stand. Simon also declining to testify. The defense building their case mostly on the lack of physical evidence in the prosecution's case, but it looks like the evidence that they did have, both direct and circumstantial, was enough for the jury to say, yes, Simon is guilty of killing her 20-month-old son and throwing his body in a dumpster.
And to be quite fair, if they had at least found someone else that could have actually taken a child, because that was kind of her defense from the jump, that someone else could have taken it, or that she even implied that the father of Quentin may have come to take him because he was not happy with the pregnancy. Look, in all of this, I believe justice was served. I believe it was served, and the evidence against her was overwhelming. It didn't help her case at all that she lied about key moments, especially the visit to Misty. I think that one really buried her completely. And there was no coming back from that. On top of that as well, I don't think that she actually had a case to begin with, because simply because of the fact that they got you on CCTV, my guy. Like there was no escaping from that. The fact that if we're going back to the trial, they brought up the unaliving video, like because she had made an unaliving video to send to she had made an unaliving video to send to Danny Youngkin, who was the boyfriend at the time. He had received that video. Basically, the video listed all of the children, from Sky to Zach, not Zach, sorry, to from Sky to Zane, and in those videos, there was no mention of Quinton. Now, I was probably alone in this, in thinking that her not mentioning Quinton was a lot and was enough to believe that she didn't like this child. But her not mentioning Quinton kind of makes sense now in hindsight, simply because of the fact that if you're not mentioning this child in your video where you are claiming to go and unalive yourself, how much do you care for this child? And on top of not mentioning the child, on the 1st of October, she went and done a Google search to saying, how common is it for you to have resentment towards your child? If the father, I keep forgetting the full Google search, but that Google search is imprint in my mind in terms of how common is it to harbor resentment towards your child. Now, that was 4 days before Quinton Simon was pronounced missing by Leilani, because she was the one that reported it in. She reported him as missing. The FBI showed up immediately. They started canvassing the area, and there was no sign of this child until like a month later, when they found him in the landfill. On top, there was the changing of the story, because after she had said that Misty was the one that she was going to at the Azalea Homes to go and borrow Oragel. She changed the story when she was confronted, and I can't. What did she say? I believe she said that that I forgot what she said. Damn it! I just forgot what she said. I mean, let me check my notes. Okay. Let me check my notes quickly. The day of the landfill, suspected human remains was there. Meeting early. Found that the okay. Savannah Solomon. Okay. Okay. Yes. She had that's the one. She had lied. She had lied and said, oh, she was actually going to Missy to go and get I think she said that she was going to get Percocet or opiates for that night. That she didn't go to Misty. That she had actually lied. That's the one. That she had actually lied about getting that she had actually lied about Misty because she was going to secure Percocet that night. Yeah, so that's why she had lied about the Misty. Of course, it's too late by this point because she had told that story many times and had lied on that statement, given false statements, which is why she was found guilty on all counts of the false statements that she had made. So she was found. So as we read here, it says that the jury was finding the Chatham County mother guilty on the 19th count indictment against her, including 4 counts that prosecutors and the defense zeroed in on throughout the entire trial. A verdict that overcame the lack of physical evidence. This was a I'm not gonna read that. Sorry, jurors were represented. Okay, I'm not gonna read that one. Okay, Simon's mother, Billy Howell, was not present for the trial, but tells the witnesses that she felt that justice was served. So, in of this case, what does this case? This case to me, it was this case to me based on the evidence presented. This case to me based on the evidence presented, and based on the narrative that are gone on. This was someone that didn't want to have this child, and it's kind of strange why of all the children, because Zane was the oldest and Sky was the youngest. It's kind of strange to me why of all the children to pick on is the middle child. It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense to me at all why she had such hatred towards this child. Maybe the child reminded her of the father, and maybe that's why she hated the child, because he looked like the father. There was testimony from the babysitter and the babysitter's mother, all expressing the violent acts that she had committed towards the child, and towards the child. But in all of this, the why is not clear. It doesn't make sense. The pathology in all this does not make sense. Why on earth she would pick out this child and choose to abuse this child, and not just abuse this child, but then go on to kill this child? That doesn't make sense to me. And there is nothing in evidence wise that could exonerate her. And that's what I was really looking for, especially to hear the defense of what the defense would put on, and they didn't put on any case at all. That's what I was kind of waiting for. Like, what do you have to say in rebuttal to all of this that is being brought against you? Even no one heard the testimony of the drug dealers, but they testified against her as well. I don't know what they were saying, but what would drive a mother to do something like this? It's possible that she's just psychotic, but again, like, I cannot, like, because she sat there in the courtroom and she seemed not phased whenever Quentin was mentioned. I think there was only one time that I did see her cry when Quentin was mentioned, and I think it was in day 7 or day 6 when she was crying during the trial. I think she was. To me, it didn't make sense at all why this crime had occurred, and why Quentin had to die. It didn't make sense how she even done all of that, committed the murder. I'm talking, and I'm going back to the night of the crime now. She had driven to the landfill, disposed of whatever she was disposing of. In this case, would be the child. She disposed of that, then goes straight to a convenience store where she went and got more petrol, because that was corroborated that she did stop at Missy's to get gas, and I'm assuming this is why. And after that stop, she went from from getting gas from Misty to the gas station, which corroborates all Misty was trying to say, that she was asking her for gas and not Orager, because she went straight to the gas station. She must have got gas, and she went and got a few more items. This was on the night that this child died, and she didn't seem phased at all. I don't know how someone could do something like that. and nothing really pops out at me as to why someone would commit a crime like this. She went home, she slept, and then in the morning she says Quentin is missing. I don't know about you, but wouldn't you notice this at the night? This is one thing that was always on my mind all through this trial. I'm like, I kept thinking, how on earth do you go home and sleep without seeing to your children first, or at least you put them to bed? Like you didn't put them to bed. Like, you went out to dump the. Let's just say that she didn't do this. She went out. I told Danny Youngkin, the boyfriend at the time, that she's going to the 204 to secure some more drugs. She goes off. She says that she has some trash in the car, whatever. Let's say that that's true. She goes off and then puts the trash in the trash bin. Even though she said that she smelt it again, she opened her trash to smell it again, which doesn't make sense because it was already smelling in the car. Why would you do that? But nonetheless, she opened it back to smell it again before throwing it over onto the landfill, and then goes to get gas, goes home without seeing the children. Surely at nighttime you would have noticed this, not in the morning. But in the morning, that's what she notices. She apparently she went straight to bed when she came home, according to Daniel's testimony. And then in the morning, that's the only time that she realized, and this is precisely at 9:14 that she realized that Quentin was missing. None of that made sense to me, because to me, the baby was not even in bed by the time that she went away, because according to the brother Paul Simon's testimony, like the baby was still active from 11 o'clock playing around before the baby was put to bed, not by her. So I have no idea how she didn't just check in on this child. No one done the checking the check-in on this child. Not the father, sorry. Daniel Youngkin didn't check before going to work. Not that I'm blaming him or anything. The blame is more on Leilani at this point, because again, you had all that time, all that opportunity to check in on this child, and you didn't. And to me, that was the moment of this trial that really took a turn for me. Like I still can't believe that a mother would do something like this to her own son. But on top of that, she goes on and then reports to the police that he's missing, tells them the story about the ordeal. From day one, Daniel Youngkin always disbelieved that story. He even spoke to her again about it, and she couldn't even speculate. When they were in the hotel, going through the events of this, she couldn't even speculate how much, what could have happened to this child. And to me, that is the best indicator for me. At least that's what made my mind up during this trial. Like nothing else made my mind up outside of this moment. Like I could excuse the lying to Misty, but the fact that she couldn't even speculate what could have happened to that child, and she kept sticking to the origin story, it tells me that she knows what happened to that child, and she just couldn't deviate from the story because she might give more away. That's why she couldn't let her mind wander, because who knows what's gonna come out if she did let her mind wander into the territory of speculating. When they were in that bedroom going through the the events. I mean, she was with only with Danny. If she didn't know that she was being recorded, so she didn't have to stick to the story, but she did. She kept sticking to the original story, even though Misty was like, "Nope, that didn't happen." Like, and we heard Misty testify as well to that not happening. The original story, like, she doesn't know about that because all she asked her for was the gas canister, and she even sent a text message about the gas canister. So when they were in the hotel room and they were going through that, and the fact that she couldn't even speculate, hey, this could have happened to her, to him. Sorry, this could have happened to him. He could have been taken by this person. He could have ran onto the street and got hit by a car, and then the person probably took the like, I don't know, like, at least go down that route. She didn't. She was just sticking to the audio story. That to me was enough for me to believe that she done something. She has something to do. It may not be as perfect as the prosecution is putting on, but I know that she would have had something to do with this child's death, especially with the lies coming out and the fact that she can't even bear herself to not even speculate one bit. That to me was the moment that sealed it for me. Let me know what sealed it for you. Which part of the trial that you were watching that you couldn't forget, that you couldn't get out of your mind, because that moment that she couldn't speculate, and on top of the fact that she didn't even mention this child in her unaliving videos, those two moments in tandem was like, yep, that's enough for me. And the Google search was what really did it for me. I was like, okay, I'm sealed, I'm done. She did this. There is no way that she didn't do this. So in a way, my mind was already made up. I'm surprised that the jury took 6 hours. That means that they did really take this case seriously. That they did really want to see, they really did deliberate as long as possible to decide how this could have happened. They tried to. I could tell that they were maybe wondering, is she guilty of the felony murder, or is it just the malice murder that she's guilty of? But they took this very, very seriously. I could tell by the time that they'd taken. But in all fairness, this was for me, it was cut and dry from the first lie, because if you're lying about your whereabouts when you know that you went to a landfill, and you're saying no, I only went to a landfill to get gas from Misty, and that's it, and then you change your story to, oh, okay, I had trash in the car, so I had to empty that trash. I lied about the audio story so that I can, because I was scoring drugs and I didn't want anyone to know. Like, all of those things does not really make you even more credible in my eyes. So to me, she was done because just purely because of the lying. And now we're gonna go through some moments of the trial that I found amusing, especially this moment of the trial. Let's take a watch.
Over 17 hours by the FBI. I go down. By the time that everything was going on, we all got told we had to go down to police annex, and we was interrogated for over 17 hours by the FBI.
Did you 17 hours?
Yes, I kept track of it because they were supposed to get me pizza. I'm still mad about my pizza 2 years later.
Did they? I think we saw you on some video bringing your sister some food at some point.
Yeah, then they bought a pizza afterward.
Okay, so you got some food that day in any case?
Yeah, because I bought it.
Okay. Because you bought it?
Yeah.
Did you?
I DoorDashed it.
You're saying you DoorDashed the pizza to the police station?
So after 12 hours of sitting there being interrogated, man, people get hungry.
Okay. So, regardless of whether you had a good time there that day, did you cooperate with the police questioning, the
Yes, sir.
FBI questioning?
That moment still brings tears to my eye. I'm not gonna lie. Like the brother Paul Simon is a real comedian, and this was another moment from a child that in my opinion was also funny, but
Speculating, but how long have you been in solid waste removal?
Since 19 BC. 1976.
Why does a route sheet get changed?
Typically
19 BC. Okay, fair enough. Just to say that that it's been there for as long as time was invented. But yeah, like those moments in the trial that brought a bit of levity to this case, because I still can't. Again, if you try to, you would go crazy trying to figure out why Leilani Simon would do something like this, because it's no question that she did something, especially with a child being found at the landfill, and she was the last one to be at a dumpster. Do the math. It's no doubt. I mean, they don't have any. They don't have a direct evidence like her actually putting the child in the actual dumpster, but you don't need that, in my opinion. Not for a case like this. It's kind of obvious for a case like this. And I felt that the prosecution put on a very, very thorough and defining case in which I wish I knew why a mother would decide to, just out of one toddler, 1 out of 3, she decided to just dislike one and commit violent acts to one, because we have to go back to the babysitter. We have to go back to the babysitter testimony where she said that Quentin would be playing by the pool, and then she would push Quentin into the pool and said that Zane had learned how to swim, and she should be able to swim by now, and he should be able to swim, and all Quentin was doing was just in the pool crying and trying to swim. And this was only 20 months and this baby was just, I think he said it was like 14 or 15 months at a time old. So it makes no sense why a mother would have that much vitriol towards the child. The mother would say, oh, I hate you, I wish you were never born, and things like that. It would make comments like that. But they never and the defense, all they had to say in response to all of this was that how come she never reported it to authorities, which is quite obvious, because some people feel like it's not their place. Some people feel like that the best person to report to is keeping it in house, basically. Like the best person that they report to is the mother of her mother, the mother of Leilani, so that something can be done in house rather than put you at risk of losing your own child because you're being stupid. Some people are that graceful. So that I never really liked that response or that rebuttal to a very serious, like, it's as if, I mean, I know that they're doing a job, but it's not going to look good for a juror who's sitting there and they probably have had a real life experience where they've gone through something like this, or they could picture themselves in this scenario, and they could be like, right, what would you do? It wouldn't be go straight to authorities. No one runs straight to the authorities in matters like this, because again, if you lose the child could go into the care system, and and sometimes that's even worse for the child. Who knows? And the babysitter had had actually said that she reported to the mother, because in my opinion, people that do things like that is the best course of action, because a change could come from reporting to the mother. Because if the mother goes in and actually report the child, and if the mother goes in and actually cautions the daughter and say, look, I will take the daughter off you. I would actually fight for custody to have the son or daughter, or you know what I mean. If they were to, if that was to happen, that could wake them up. That could actually make them change their ways. If they were threatened to, like, you know what, I'll take you, and I now get custody of this child. That could change the behavior, but you can never get that if you report it to the system. And that's something from this trial that really irked me, which was, oh, why didn't you report it to the authorities? Sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes it's very complex. But the most important part was they never they never found a way to say that these acts never happened, because people have known Leilani. I think, despite the seance, and yes, Melanie, and this is the testimony of Melanie, who was a friend of Leilani Simon before, and who took Leilani Simon in with her first boyfriend before Daniel Youngkin. Even she couldn't, even she was noticing her behavior to be down a destructive path, and even though that she was testifying that it was a seance that the child came to her in a dream and was telling her that the mother had heard the child. It's of no denial that even before that she was speaking ill of this child. She wasn't happy with that. In fact, let me actually try and find the notes on that. Let me try and find out what she actually said. Melanie Bulling. Yes, this is one. Okay, she would say that Quentin. Yes, okay, so things like this, where Melanie had testified to saying that she would say that Quentin was a bastard, and would say, I wish I never had you, and wish she had an abortion, and would get angry, saying that she would beat him if he wouldn't listen to her. Says that she would whip them, but can't attest to how she would do. She says that she would whoop them, but she was unable to attest to how she would do, or she felt differently about. She also said that she felt differently about Quentin compared to the other two children, and would praise Zane but not Quentin. She would praise Zane but not Quentin. All of these things, they still happened before the whole what's it called? The whole seance, the whole indictment, whatever you want to call it. Before the whole dream that she had, these things, she still said them to her. Sorry, in her presence while she was living with her. So all of these things, it's not out of the realm of possibility that she was just a bad mother, and the response to all of this is, you're pushing your worldview on. Is it possible that you're pushing your worldview on others? And this same thing was going towards Leilani's babysitter's mother as well, because she was testifying to similar things. Like, not all these people cannot be lying about the same thing. Like, they all can't have gone together and be like, let's make Leilani out to be a bad mother, because that's objectively who she was based on this multiple testimony. So, and I'm happy to be quite honest. I agree with this verdict wholeheartedly, that there is no way on earth that I may not understand how someone could reach a position that they would actually hurt a child. I may not understand that. I may not know the why that would happen. I may not, but I know that that in this case it did happen, in which a mother was, I wouldn't even say down on her luck, because there was nothing to suggest that she was not having money coming in, or because she was working. I think the rent was going up. I think the rent was going up in the house that she was living in. So, but I still can't see why that would mean get rid of one child. That just doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. There was nothing out of the ordinary that would have happened to have triggered her to do this. At first I actually believed it was she was probably going through a psychotic break, that's how she ended up doing something like this. But she admitted to taking Percocet that night. I'm not sure if that's even a reasoning anymore, because with the prior bad acts that was testified to the babysitter's mother, the babysitter, and Melanie, it's hard to tell that this was just drug-induced, psychotic break that led her to kill that child. It's very hard. It's very hard because you already showed resentment towards the child. If anything, it's probably you using the drug as an excuse to actually do this. Was she on Percocet that night? She said that she was, but I don't think it's enough, or it was that much to have induced a psychotic break. But it could happen. It could happen at any point. But yeah, that was one of my theories for the case, where I felt that she probably had a drug-induced psychotic break that led her to commit this murder. But that's the only explanation as to why this happened, because I cannot at all put my I don't know, but sometimes people are crazy. Sometimes mothers are just there are some mothers out there that just don't want the child. I wish I know why. I wish I knew why, but at least in this case, Quentin, the justice has been served for Quentin Simon, and now hopefully the baby can now have a send off, a burial of some sort, according to what the mother of Leilani Simon had said to WTOC, where she hoped that the remains would return to her. At least now they can proceed with the funeral and do all the formalities around that, because yeah, I may not know the why. I can still speculate on the why, but at least we know that it is definitely Leilani Simon that has something to do with this trial, based on everything that came out during the trial. The defense, there was no defense, and it showed, it bared out with the jury finding. So I'm gonna end it there. Let's just go through those trial moments one more time. I want to go through. Let's just go through those trial moments one more time, and then we're gonna close off on that. And we're gonna close off there. So yeah.
By the FBI.
Did you 17 hours?
Yes, I kept track of it because they were supposed to get me pizza. I'm still mad about my pizza 2 years later.
Today. I think we saw you on some video bringing your sister some food at some point.
Yeah, then they bought the pizza afterwards.
Okay. So you got some food that day in any case?
Yeah, because I bought it.
Okay. Because you bought it?
Yeah.
Did you order it?
I DoorDashed it.
You're saying you DoorDashed the pizza at the police station?
So after 12 hours of sitting there being interrogated, man, people get hungry.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just gonna end it there. Thank you so much for everyone that watched this that watches live with me and for rocking me. It's a quick one, but I appreciate everyone that were here to hear what I had to say in regards to the verdict. I appreciate everyone that watching this back on replay. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in. We also have the Unintentional Juror podcast tonight, episode 12. We are looking into the new Diddy filings, as well as the updates in around the actually benefit sentencing. So do ensure that you tune in for that. It is at sorry about that. It is at 5 p.m. Eastern time. That's 5 p.m. Eastern time, which should be 10 o'clock UK time. So make sure you tune in for that. 5 p.m. Eastern time. So without further, thank you so much for everyone for tuning in. Take care of yourself and have a great evening. Take care. Bye-bye. The show is over, but that does not mean that the fun has to end. And I know how cliche that sounds, but really and truly, the fun really does not have to end. You know how good our streams are and how fun they can be. So we have decided to put them all into a podcast and a playlist format for you to binge on if you so wish. We also do recaps and clips of the best bits, the worst bits, all of those bits, lady bits, every bits, whatever it might be. We do that as well, and we upload onto the channel so in case you guys just wanna you don't wanna watch the full thing, you have the option of watching just the short versions. It's up to you. You have the choice. You have the power, like E-Man. So without further, you can also check out the main Heinz website where we continue the discussions over there, but in a more broader context to try and get into the psychology of why all these things happen. The end screen should be up here so that you guys can see the content you guys can watch. The playlist will be on your left hand side or right hand side, I don't know which one, and the video that and a recap clip should pop up here. So without further, I'll just say bye, and I'll see you on the next stream, and most importantly, the Unintentional Juror podcast. See you there.